Well, you're probably not familiar with this situation, but this is very big in the hip-hop world. There is an artist out of Jacksonville, Florida named Queso, and he was being charged with a murder. His own father testified against him. Now, there's a little more to the story, so I'll kind of give you a little bit of a backdrop on this. Queso's dad, his son, and his stepson were in a car, and the car gets shot up. His stepson gets killed, and both the father and his son end up getting shot. They both survive. Queso allegedly takes it upon himself to go kill the shooter. He then goes to the father, tells him what he did, and his father helped him get rid of the clothes and try to help him escape. Everyone gets caught, so his father gets charged with an accessory to murder after the fact. In order to get out of a life sentence, because he had a bunch of priors, he goes and testifies in court against his son and points out his son as the shooter. As a father, what would you do in a situation like this? You have sons?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
One.
One son. How old?
15.
Okay. So your 15-year-old son comes to you and said, Dad, I just killed your biggest hater. And you help him try to escape, but then you get caught. Now you're facing a bunch of years unless you testify against what your son actually told you. What would you do?
Well, I would think that if I did my job as a father, my son wouldn't enact murder as revenge.
Well, things happen. You have a kid and you can't control him.
Well, then whose fault is it?
What would you do? Here's the situation. Not about what led up to it. You're in the situation. Would you do years in prison, potentially life, or would you point out your son in a courtroom?
I help him pick out the clothes to wear in court so he looks good when I point him out.
Yeah, man. I would kind of agree with you. And people like Boosie will get mad and, he said he'll do 100 years over his kids and so forth. But if you legitimately try to help your son and it didn't work, you need to go to prison over that? I don't think so. Your son took it upon himself to do what he did.
But he kills this guy because what? The guy just said shit about his dad or put hands on him?
The guy shot up the car, shot his dad, shot his brother, and killed his stepbrother. It was a revenge killing. Let's not, let's not call it what it's not, but it's not something that his dad sent him on. Now, his dad was in the streets, in and out of prison, a bunch of priors and so forth. And,
But you see,
I'll just say this. His dad's excuse was, well, I have 2 younger kids that I still got to raise.
Okay, but you know what? Again, at what point do we break these generational curses? Because the father is partly responsible because he came from that life. So if you don't do better and try to protect your kids from the life that you came out of, then it's bound to repeat itself.
Yep.
And these are the ugly results.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, man, niggas gotta fucking get out of this mentality. You gotta travel. You gotta open yourself up to the idea of something unfamiliar to you. Because the shit that's familiar to you keeps you in a certain spot. And that spot only leads to a couple of things. And none of it is good. So come on, man.
So you do the same thing. You testify.
What am I going to force myself to say no? I wouldn't.
Yeah. I agree with you. Me and academics were arguing about this, when I was on his show. At the end of the day, he genuinely tried to help his son get out of it, only to tie himself into the murder himself. But he didn't do the murder. He didn't tell his son to do the murder.
So are you supposed to go down with the ship?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a lot of motherfuckers who say that shit until the predicament happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to sit back and go, man, I'll do this and
I'll do triple life for my kids.
Yeah. And then when you hear about, hey, man, you ain't never going to see freedom no more.
That's definitely my son. Yeah, no, he had actually, because there was a video of the shooter, but I guess the face was covered, and he had to say, yeah, that's my son, because I bought him that outfit or something. Like, he was specifically pointing him out. It's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation.